Hi friends, this is Kishore. I am a teacher and production developer. In this tutorial, we are going to learn basics, fundamental, introduction, interface of 3D departments and Autodesk Maya. Autodesk Maya is a computer 3D graphics and animation software we can install in Windows, Mac, and Linux. Autodesk Maya is one of the best and still leading 3D animation software. Autodesk is used for animation films, VFX films, video games to create high quality 3D graphics and animations. It has a few departments. In 3D animation industry, we have few departments such as modeling, texturing, rigging, animation, effects, lighting, and rendering. These departments works in different scenarios according to the project requirement. So these departments, there are, it's like an example. To construct a building, we have departments, right? Engineering department, lab department, plumbing department, and electrical department, as well as painting department, and many. So they come and they work according to their relevant department. They finish their task and they go, right? Like that we have departments in 3D industry such as modeling, texturing, rigging, animation, effects, lighting, and rendering. We will also go very deeply in next classes, so you can see few examples of the departments. Modeling department. Modeling department where we can create the models, whether humans or vehicles or temples or houses or weapons or anything, any kind of models we can develop, but we cannot see any colors or any textures or any materials in modeling department, right? So once we're done with the model, then we'll move to the texture department. The file will move to the texture department. In texture department, we can assign textures, colors, or materials to the model. You can see the right one image, this guy has skin color with the blue, and the ground one is like sand color, and the tree is the dark green color, and the left image you can see stone color, stone patterns on it, right? So these kind of workflow we can do in texture department. In texture department we can define which is steel, which is plastic, gold, silver, and which is shiny, which is non-shiny, which is reflected, which is non-reflected, which is transparent, which is non-transparent. All this kind of stuff we can define in texture department. Once you're done with the texture department, then file will move to the rigging department. If it is camera, if it is character, if it is machine gun, if it is like a car, vehicle, any kind of controls, any kind of animations. So these kind of things will go to the rigging department. So in real time we are able to walk, run, jump because of we have bones instead of the body, right? So in this 3D industry, in rigging department we have to place the bones instead of the body, and it should be controlled by controls. So you can see the left image skeleton with controls. You can see the skeleton structure as well as with controls. This skeleton is controlled by these controls, right? You can see like rectangular boxes, those are controls. At the foot you can see this rectangular box, this is control. This is the star kind of stuff, this is control. These, using these controls, animators they do animation, right? So once you're done with the skeleton and control, then we have to use a skinning method in rigging department. So here you can see the body is bound to the skeleton. So here you can see we can call it as body or mesh. This mesh is bind to the skeleton, right? This all process comes under rigging. In rigging department there are uh, like facial rigging, character rigging, mechanical rigging, cartoonic rigging, and real rigging like camera. There are a lot of things we will also discuss uh, many in other tutorials regarding this rigging or any other departments. Animation. Animators they do animation with help of rigging controls. So we can animate the character or any kind of vehicle or camera. There are few departments in animation such as layout animators, they do only animation with the cameras, and character animators they do only the character animation, facial animations, and mechanical animation, and prop animation. There are many things in animation. Any department, it can be animation or modeling or texturing or rigging or effects, or rendering or lighting. Any department, they have some principles and rules. We have to follow the rules and principles. Using those rules and principles, we can get the best and better quality up to the international mark. So we'll also discuss very briefly when we talk about the particular relevant department. Effects. Once you're done with the animation department, then file will move to the effects department. Effects department, what we can do in effects department? Effects department, just like a effects, smoke effect, fire effect, braking effect, blasting and rain effect, water effect, ripple effect. So these all effects we can do. So see, we can we what is the difference between animation and effects? Animation, we can animate based on the controls, based on the characters. Like we can, there's a ball, one ball we can animate, but what about 10 balls? Okay, it's very difficult to animate 10 balls. We can do it. What about hundreds of balls? It's very difficult to animate hundreds of balls in animation department. These hundreds of balls can be simulated in VFX department. So here, see, the all balls should be animated, not animated, should be simulated. So this is in FX departments also. We have few sub departments like simulations and rigid bodies. There are a lot of things we can discuss about briefly when we talk about FX department, FX specialization. In FX department, the balls are being controlled with physics values, gravity, friction, static friction, damping, velocity. Like this, we have many controls. Using those controls, we can simulate all the 100 balls. Not only 100 balls, even thousands of honeybees and water ripples and hair simulation, fur simulation, cloth simulation. The guy is running and behind of him the cloth is should be simulated. How can you do? You can do in FX department. All these cloth simulation effects, you can do it. You can see few examples of effects which are done very old, of one of my showreel. You can see how the particles, how the egg is break, and water ripples. You can also ripple water ripples, 3 or 4 ripples in animation, but 3 4 controls. Okay, we can animate 3 4 controls. What about if you have 50 controls, 50 water ripples? Very difficult. See here, we all these things should be done in FX department. So these all kind of effects we can do in FX department: smoke, fire, glass breaking effect, all these things. And then lighting department. In lighting department, we can generate the shadows, speculars, reflections, or reactions to the lights. So we have model and we have texture, the model with the texture, and we have animated scene with all the things. So it's very difficult to see with the quality of the shadows and the reflections and reflections. When you place the lights, you can see the shadows and reflections and reflections and lens flares. You can see at the core, lens flares and reflections and all. So these all things we can generate or create in lighting department, right? So in lighting departments also we have a lot of things. So we will also discuss about lights very briefly when we talk about lighting department. Once you're done with the lighting department, then file will move to the rendering department. In rendering department, we can convert software to image sequence and software to video format. So whatever we are doing, the 3D file, we cannot show the 3D file directly to the client, or we cannot play that software file as a video format in a VLC player, or we cannot see the software file in theater screen, right? It has to be a format, or MP4 format, or image sequence like JPG format or PNG formats. So to convert the process, we call rendering. So in rendering department also we have a lot of sub departments to render different things. We have a lot of things like hardware render, software render, ordinal render, mental render, V-Ray render. There are a lot of things. So we'll also discuss very briefly at the time of rendering department specialization. So rendering is nothing but where we can convert software to image sequence, software to video format. So you can see the right side image is just in software, the left one is rendered, right? See you next class.